Hi, my name is Jayleen Li, and I am proud to announce that I actually finished the game after all this time and all these given up projects, but we still have this one, which I completed in like a week or so and only took about 10 hours. Um, so yeah, um, we're gonna just go over the concepts as usual, and I'm only gonna do the ones I think are important, and I also have this outline thing that I'm gonna go along that I kind of wrote, it's like a script, and we're just gonna go with that. And I'm gonna explain the game. The game is kind of like a circle, and you are just not dodging, you're blocking other circles from approaching you, because if they touch you, then you die, and the point of the game is to get the highest score, like usual. Um, so, there's a settings bar here that you can use to change your score multiplier. That score multiplier can make you get a higher score, and of course you want a higher score, so you're going to want to change these. But I'm going to play on normal mode and go. As you can see, your mouse just moves along with the green circle, and you're just trying to block these circles that are approaching you in a circular fashion, because circles are amazing. See, I failed. It's gonna tell me, oh, there you go, you died. And if I wanted to go change these multipliers, like I'll make this a huge circle, maybe like a little smaller in the center, play like this, see if I can get a really high score. Oh, well, I failed. I'm gonna play one more time. So that is the main objective of the game. So you just wanna get the highest score by blocking other circles. Ooh, well, see, I got 11,000, so you can quickly get really high scores with this multiplier. So that is the main objective of the game. There's functions in there. There is high score saving that kind of works. I'll explain that later. And there's just other buttons, like this will exit the game. This will tell you some information that I put for the game. And that's about it. It's not a very complicated game. It's a very simple game, and I'm really happy to make it because it's like the first game I actually completed, because I kept giving up on my other games because they were too complicated, take too much time. Like it's not like time issues, more like I think they were too complicated for a first game. Should stick with something easy, which is what I'm doing here with this 359 degrees, which is the title of the game. Probably should have said that earlier, but that's the title of the game because 360 degrees minus 1 because coding, mostly. So yeah, that's it for this first little section. I'm going to talk about the concepts right after this. So the first thing up in our list is to explain the rooms. The rooms, we got 4 rooms. One of them is menus, one of them is the game, the actual game, one of them is settings, which is the multiplier little thingy, and the last one is the other info, which was all the little text that I had there as a bonus. So the purpose of each one, the menu is to obviously start. The settings is obviously to have these sliders and to increase your score and all that stuff. So that was pretty simple, so there's not much there. So the next thing is the circles that are the main component of the game. I mean, it's the only one if you think about it, but yeah, so the first one is the slider. So the slider is pretty simple. All you gotta do is he just follows the mouse around. You know, it just points in that direction. The mid circle controls most of the stuff. It controls the spawn positions of the other circle, which is this, which is the circle that you're trying to block. So the mid circle, as you can see, all this random stuff, coding stuff here, which is just using a whole bunch of Pythagorean theorem and sin, cosine, trigonometry to find the positions of the circle. As you can see from the game, I'm gonna show it. They all spawned, like as you can see right there, if they all spawn in a circle, no matter what. So even if you saw that one spawned in a corner, but it was still technically in a circular fashion. So that was the purpose of that thing right there. This is sine, cosine. And actually, this is the contradictory stuff I made with the title of the game, which is 359 degrees, which meant like you only spawn in 359 degrees, but in actuality I used 4 different separate quadrants that were randomly assigned, and 90 degree angles that were rounded down to determine the angles, which is completely different from the actual title, so it's just contradicting itself, or why not? So yeah, and if there's object is gone, it's going to make the circle object that just brings us into our circle, which is in charge of score adding, and score adding right here, and it will play a sound every time it's destroyed. And as soon as it's also in charge of the game over screen. Game over screen is detected by alarm inside the object circle right here. It's just going to create the object, which is the game over screen, which is pretty easy. It also keeps track of score by multiplying it with a global multiplier. And by the way, for all of these things, they all have a create function to change the x and y. So based on the value you put for the mid-circle side in the settings room, because that changes the multiplier. It also changes the difficulty of the game, so that's why it increases the multiplier. So the next thing is the settings and multiplier. So as we saw in the room, we got the positions of everything kind of already calculated. I don't think this is the best efficient way to do this. I could have just made it into code, but whatever. It still works. So, like, there's multiple ways to solve a problem. So yes, there's different sliders inside the thing to control each of the individual multipliers. Yes, so the first thing is the sliders. We're just going to talk about one because they're all just copied and pasted based on different values and whatnot. Basically, if your mouse is, if you click on it, then in whatever position your mouse is, it's going to get the fraction, the percentage of where your thing is. Or it could be a fraction, I mean the same thing. But it gets the position of where your mouse is and where the slider is, which changes changes the multiplier and changes the scaling and all this other stuff by changing this global center size. So yeah, and then just turns into a percent and then to a multiplier. So the global multiplier is just everything multiplied together from each individual circle, or in each individual slider. And the other ones are just the same thing, the exact same coding, but I put them in both, so where you can just drag it, or you could just click on the slider in order to change the multiplier, which I find pretty convenient because it's really hard to drag that slider around. And now we got slider fills. Slider fills, there's actually two separate objects that separate these slider fills. One of them is just the edge, which is just default just there, because that just makes life easier because you don't want to scale like half a circle because that's going to turn into an oval, which is really awkward in terms of like graphics. So each one also has their own little slider fill, little circle thing for each individual multiplier. And this is just based on the scale of reverting back the multiplier by subtracting the amount and dividing it again to return it back to its percentage value, so that the percentage value is of the entire bar, and that's how much the scale will be for that filling bar to make it look like it's being filled. In reality, it's just a really long bar that's being squished and unsquished, and that's the way I think about it. And now we got the Let's Go button, which is the button that goes to the next room, basically. So if you click on it, it's gonna change the song, which is a randomly selected song out of the 5 songs that there are, and it's going to go to the game and start the game. And also, I added this little thing here, those extra O's. I don't know if you caught that, but that's just for fun because you gotta go like, let's go! Not just like, let's go. You gotta have all the O's. So, to make all those O's, okay, there's this one string that is just O's, and it just keeps adding the O's, and it just keeps moving the text to the left, so it looks like it gives this illusion that that the O's are just being added like on and on and on, like continuously. And that just because of this beautiful draw function kind of thing that changes and adds all these strings together. And now talk about the score, the saving and the writing score, which currently, I don't know, there were some problems with this, so I decided just kind of change it a little. So it uses ini files, which are automatically default in GameMaker, where you can save your high score. And it will save that high score just by opening, writing the score, closing the score, and then done. And then the other times it'll just open the file, look at the score, close the file. Oh, I just did something. Oops. Okay, so yeah, that's how that goes. And there was a problem with this, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So the problem with that was that it would make a contradiction with itself if I tried to save, like set a default highest score to 0 in the main menu, which is what I did. If I did that, then it wouldn't be able to find the actual highest score. But the problem with that is, in the first time you open the game, then your score is going to be null, and that's just going to create a whole bunch of errors. So there's like a contradiction here. So that's why I just made it so it's like the default of your highest score of the session that you're playing. So as soon as you open the game, that's your highest score, and you can't go back to the main menu or sort of delete itself. And I couldn't really solve this problem, which is something I could work on later. But I've already tried to fix that, and I just kept thinking about it, and I just kept thinking like how many contradictions it would make if I tried to keep on doing that. So yeah, that is the problem with the saving score. So it's not a perfect game, but I mean, it's the first one. Just calm down. It's not the greatest of all time. I mean, it's just one person who made it in 10 hours. What do you expect? It's not that much. Yeah, that is the script and beautiful in the opening and closing. And the next thing, there's not that many on this list, is the game over and end screen, which I am pretty proud of, mostly because of this, which it uses an exponential function. Actually, it's not really exponential, it's it's still exponential, but it's a decreasing exponential. I forgot the term, I can't really think of it right now, but that's basically what I used to give that illusion. Let me show you that illusion of whenever a game over. So if I die by now, you can see the screen goes like that. It's like really smooth, and it goes fast and then slow. That's exponential because that's how exponentials work. And I thought that was probably the coolest thing ever for an animation. That illusion gives that illusion of awesome smoothness and whatnot, which is just exponential functions. Oh, this is drawing. Don't even know that. What else? It gives a random ending screen name, and here's the score. If the current score is greater than the high score, it's going to write it as a high score, even though this is still kind of salty right now, but we're just going to pretend like it all works in theoretical life. But anyway, here's a random text. It has 9 different ones. Actually, I think it's 9. And it will just give you some little encouragement or non-encouragement to make you more rage. I don't know. You could do both. Who cares? Those randomly generated stuff will just tell you, well, good game. That's how life works. And so the next thing is the restart, which basically if you just press space, it's just going to go back to the settings screen, which is pretty simple. I mean, you just go back and then you can just play again. The only problem with this is that you do not have the settings sliders saved, because I don't know if people would like it, because I actually like it when it's not saved, so that I can change it every single time. But I guess, I don't know, could maybe save, maybe not save. So yeah, we're gonna just keep playing it, and currently I took a screenshot a couple days ago. My highest score is 16,978, and we're gonna also if you want to play this game, I'm going to put a Dropbox link. It's just a .exe file, and it's super easy, and it's super easy to play. It's not, I don't know if I should make a tutorial, but it's really not that complicated. So if you just want to start, we're going to just put like a little slider right here. Yeah, I personally like to play it like this, with a smaller circle in the center. And also, all the music that that's playing right now is created in Noviation Launchpad, which is an app on the App Store. Ooh, 15,828. I was pretty close to my previous high score. So if you want to play, just play it in the Dropbox and you can download it. If you want to take a screenshot of your highest score and send it to me on Gmail, JayleenLi17@gmail.com, or Facebook. I have this Facebook page. It's not actually my name, it's tjtheturtleisawesome. If you want to post it there, I don't really care. But if you want to get the high score, you can just send it, and if you get the highest one, I don't know, maybe I'll buy you a game or something on Steam, and I'll give it to you, because why not? Also, by the way, if you want to go back, you press escape, and there's this extra function here, depending on how big your multiplier is. You can put, like, if it's super small, they're going to tell you you're a noob, and if you're in really high, it's going to tell you that you're a tryhard. So that's some encouraging words of stuff. So this game is really short, so if you have time, just play it. It's only going to take like a minute of your time or 30 seconds. I mean, it's going to take really short time. But just tell me your high score and see if you can beat my high score of 16,978.64, and I'm just going to see if I play it on extreme mode. It's impossible, literally impossible. But that's why we're going to put this beautiful stuff. We're going to play one more time because why not? See if I can beat my own high score. Ooh, again 15,000, but it's not. I just go and play it. I mean, it's really short. You don't need to use your mouse or anything. You don't need to use anything else. I do have a touchscreen, but mouse is probably the best. So yeah, that's it for this game. And I just want to thank you so much for watching this video or playing the game. And my name is Jayleen Li, and that is 359 degrees. And that is it for the day. This is the show, ladies and gentlemen.